What's good, Fight World? Still Mills checking back in with y'all, man. I wanted to talk about Floyd Mayweather, Money May. Floyd Money Mayweather, and was he as good as he proclaimed that he was? But indeed, my answer is hell the fuck yeah. Hell yeah, he was. That dude was undeniably possibly the baddest magician to ever lace up. That dude was incredibly immaculate defensively. However, I think a notion that is set is he fought the opponents at the right time. He fought the opponents at the right time and yada yada yada. And I tend to agree with that. But on the flip side, what else was he supposed to do? Canelo was just now coming into his prime. Floyd is in his mid-40s. So was he supposed to wait until now to fight Canelo? No. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people, man? Like, I don't get people, man. Like, it's a lot of hate for Floyd, and Floyd did fuck the game up to it, in the sense of people are milking the game as much as they possibly can. As much as they possibly can to get, they want the biggest bag they could possibly get before they get in the ring, and that's understandable, man. He was highly intelligent, with his as far as selling the fight was concerned. He was extremely intelligent. Niggas give him a lot of flack about his reading capabilities and everything, things of that nature. This shit is hysterical. It's fucked up. 50 a buster for doing that shit to that nigga, man. He shouldn't, no friend should ever do that to another friend. But I'm not even gonna front. I cried laughing watching that. But nonetheless, it was fucked up. So, yeah, and he's also set the notion that, you undefeated is always the goal. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to lose, even though there's, you gain a lot in losing. You gain a lot in losing. But nobody wants to go through that process, because when you in this particular sport, losing could cost you your life. You know what I'm saying? Losing could, if not cost you your life, it could cost you, you sacrifice your motor skills in losing. You know what I'm saying? You take too much damage. You're punch drunk. You can't. That's never. That's never a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And so with him, I love how he was able to, because at a point in time, Floyd wasn't as defensively minded as he is. He was extremely offensive, like in the Gaddy days and the Diego Corrales days, and the DeMarcus Corley. I always forget how to pronounce it. Is it Corley? I think it was DeMarcus Corley that he fought. He was really offensive minded, and he was really offensive minded in them days. Volume punching, combination, high combination punching. So defense was his. He didn't have time to sharpen his defensive capabilities as much as he did. 2007, 2008, where he just became a fucking mastermind defensively. Yikes. So yeah, man. You gonna let me over, right? All right, my man. Good looking now. So I understand people's gripe with them. You dig? I understand their gripe with them about oh man, his old gotta go. I was even seeing people talking about man, he broke. He broke. I'm like, he just, anything to discredit Manny when they had they feud going on. He broke. His numbers is doing, his numbers is doing. And I'm seeing niggas who was on my level financially or worse talk about Manny broke. What the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas, man? Y'all niggas is goofy with that, bro. Hell no, that fool ain't broke. This is the second biggest face in the sport, man. Y'all are still paying to watch this man fight. What the fuck are you talking about? He's broke. That he still doing averaging 500,000 pay-per-view buys. What are you talking about? Man, y'all niggas is a trip, man, on my mama. But the dude was he said he did, he did do a lot of goofy shit in the sport, man, and he should get flack for that. He should get flack for fighting. I hate saying fighting fighters at the right time. There's, it's good and bad with that. You dig? I think with the likes of a Canelo, he shouldn't have fought. He should have fought. He was right to fight Canelo when he fought him. He was right to. Why I'm gonna be 40 plus years old when you come into prowess? That's unfair for Floyd. That's extremely unfair for Floyd. Now, when we're talking about Manny Pacquiao, on the flip side to that, yeah, he fought Manny at the right time, absolutely. Manny that was knocked out, you know what I'm saying? A Manny that wasn't just, he wasn't the juggernaut that he was when they first started talking about him. This was a refound, a Christian. You did, by the time Floyd came around to fighting him. Manny was doing the most before he discovered Christianity. He was doing the most. He was a fucking, the dude was a little tyrant. Man, Manny put his fist through your face if you call, Alex Ariza. He's a prime example. He thought it was sweet because you was a strength and conditioning coach. All right, bro, I'm gonna show you. You need to, you my strength and conditioning coach, but I'm in shape enough to fuck you up, nigga. You better watch your mouth. So I think with Manny, he did fight Manny at the right time after, the circumstance that Manny, Manny got comatose by Manuel Marquez. He got comatose. And I don't think he was as good. I'm not going to say he's as gun shy. He became more, less gun shy. I don't think that's the case at all. I think by the time Manny came into a Juan Manuel Marquez fight, he was already, redefined as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Roach had already developed him into more, he added more tools to his game. So he was still, he was still an aggressive fighter. He just, his dimensions expanded. You dig? So, and not to mention, I'm not saying that Manny would have beat him when the fight was, when they were first talking about it in 08 and 07. No, 08, 09. Tripping 07. About 08, 09. Oh, god damn it. I took the wrong exit. Motherfucker. Oh, well, I got time anyway. I don't think Manny was, I'm not saying that he would have beat him. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying he would have just, I think his chances would have been a hell of a lot better. Because he was a lot more of a juggernaut. He was a killer, you know what I'm saying? I think you really start to see his killer instinct dissipate after he did what he did to Antonio Margarito. I don't think he was just like, bro, he literally ended Margarito's career. Margarito has not been, he was never the same after he fought Manny Pacquiao again. It's a difference between knocking somebody the fuck out, all right, cool, you get up, you continue in your career. He halted Antonio Margarito's career. What he did to that man's orbital bone. That was like, wow. So by the time that fight, he just, you seen the killer kind of subside in him. But he was still a killer. He was still a motherfucker who was looking in there, get in there and fuck you up. Maybe just not on the scale of, Miguel Cotto, when he did to Cotto. You dig? So Floyd was every bit of was every bit of who they say he was, man. He was an incredible fighter, man. I'm saying was like the man passed. He still, that man his flowers right now while he's on his plane. When he was active, I'll say was in the sense of when he was active. That dude was not to be fucked with, man. He was not to be fucked with. Incredibly defensive minded. Like that's pop. I haven't seen defense on, even when we talk about a Parnell Whitaker and a James Toney. I don't think they were. I don't think they were as immaculate defensively as Floyd was, and those were incredible defensive-minded fighters. I don't think James Toney would. I don't think he wore the Philly as good as Floyd did. I just don't. I don't, man. Floyd mid-ring, off the rope, that dude was incredible, man. Incredible. And it took me a while to get on the Floyd train because I didn't like the braggadocious shit. I've never been a fan of niggas just flashing their money and making it rain and everything. I've never been a fan of that, man. That's just not my get down. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. You did. I mean, be proud of your success. And Floyd from the dirt, man. So he didn't, everybody knows his background. But damn, bro, I don't want to see that shit. Even if I was on top of the world, you dig what I'm saying? From a financial standpoint, that's just not what I'm about to do. I don't like, I don't count people's pockets. So I damn sure don't want it thrown in my face. You dig? Just get your money and keep it pushing. I don't need to, I think it's overtly obnoxious when people do that shit. They flashing their money, the money phone. I'm like, man, it's kind of corny to me, bro. Honestly, man. Like, man, I don't, like, whatever. You did, cause I seen a nigga get a stimulus check or taxes and be in a video taking pictures on the gram and on Facebook and everything, flossing like they got it like that. It's like, bitch ass nigga, you just got that money. Because it's tax time, nigga. Fuck out of here. So I just hate seeing niggas do that shit, man. But all in all, Floyd was that nigga, man. Like, Floyd was dude was incredible, man. I mean, he did have his flaws, and he did set certain narratives in the sport that kind of deteriorated the sport. A lot of these cats nowadays are scared to lose their own because of how Floyd catered to the sport. Oh man, undefeated. I'm 50, I'm 50, I'm 50, I'm 50. Everybody want to retire undefeated, which is cool. But not everybody is going to to reach that goal. And if you don't reach that goal, that doesn't mean that you're diminished as a fighter, man. The greatest there's people who still got Ray Robinson as a GOAT. Man, how many losses? He had like 10 losses. You dig what I'm saying? It was fighting how many times a month? Or not a month, but how many times a year? Dude was consistently in combat. He was consistently in the ring. You're gonna lose. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's gonna happen. So I think Floyd was, the GOAT. It's hard to argue against it, man. It's really hard to argue against it, man. It is hard to argue against a flawless record. It is hard to argue against skill. It's very hard to argue against skill. I don't, like I said, the only person I think that's capable of being that immaculate defensively is Shakur Stevenson. That's the only person I think is close to Floyd, or could be, that could be Floyd if his career, pans out the way that everybody is expecting it to. Because that's just like that. You don't get that type of defensive. You don't get that every day. That's incredible, man. So I think, beating 20 plus world champions, you can't deny that. Oscar De La Hoya, the destruction of Arturo Gatti and Diego Corrales was just like, Jesus, dude. Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto. People have a issue with him pulling the Juan Manuel Marquez. I get it, but at the end of the day, you gotta. Hey man, you signed a contract. If you don't think you can hang, mind your business. Mind your business, man. So I'm not mad at him for pulling up Juan Manuel Marquez. I do think he should have fought Keith Thurman when he was the mandatory. That could be a knock against him. And I think he would have beat Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? If he would have fought Keith Thurman instead of fighting Andre Berto, I think he still would have retired undefeated. He still would have retired undefeated. And Keith Thurman is one of my favorite fighters, man. But at that point in time, I was like, nah, man. Just Keith ain't got nothing for Floyd. Floyd is just entirely too intelligent in the ring. Way too intelligent. Way too intelligent, man. Like, what did Thurman have outside of power to deal with the likes of Floyd? I don't think his IQ was as refined with Floyd, but he could have had that under his on his resume. I beat Thurman, up and coming, contender. Fuck. So yeah, I would have liked to see him fight, the likes of Keith Thurman. I would have liked that. I would have liked that, but you know, beating Oscar De La Hoya and Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez in higher divisions. I mean, there's no getting around that. Oscar was he's older than Floyd. He's older than Floyd. So what the fuck was Floyd supposed to do? Be born a couple of years, ahead of where he was to fight a better, a better Oscar De La Hoya? No, you know, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You do not get to do that. And was he supposed to be born, a couple of years after he was to fight, a Canelo Alvarez that would have been more equipped to deal with him? No, you don't get to do that. Canelo Alvarez was still a very seasoned fighter, 40 plus fights, or like 40 plus fights at that young age, man. He was, he wasn't your average young buck. He just wasn't ready for Floyd at the time. He wasn't. And I knew for a fact, I'm like, Floyd is about to fuck this dude up. Everybody was, oh, he too big. You can't hit what you can't touch. You can't hurt what you can't touch. Floyd, I'm like, he's not gonna touch Floyd. He's not going to touch him. I'm like, I'm not worried about this, man. A lot of people were worried. I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. And we saw what happened. Now, I mean, it is what it is, man. Floyd is most definitely, he's most definitely everything that the people say he is. People have their personal beefs with him. Oh, he bad for the sport, and to a certain degree he is. To a certain degree he is. Where money is money is the goal. I don't think money should be the goal. I don't think it should be I think legacy should be the goal, and under that should be being properly compensated for participating in such a brutal sport. Etch your name in stone and then get the choke. You're gonna get it regardless. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people was mad that he didn't fight Paul Williams, and Paul Williams was a glitch. Like, what the fuck is you doing at 147, bro? You don't belong here. No, you don't belong here. You don't. And that's not saying that Floyd wouldn't have been able to beat him. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But man, when 6'1" at that level is kind of unfair. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like a regular dude. All right, I'm 5'8" and you 6'1". It ain't like a regular 6'1". It's a 6'1" who knows how to use all of his natural capabilities to his advantage. All of them. So I get it. I'm not saying that Floyd wouldn't have beat him. I'm not saying that, but damn, bro. Like, dude, what are we doing? So a lot of people was mad that he ain't fight Paul Williams and he ain't do this and he ain't fight Manny. I do think he should have fought Manny way before he fought him. I'm talking 4-5 years before he fought him. He most definitely should have did that. He should have. He should have fought Amir Khan as well. I mean, I wasn't mad at the Maidana. You watch Maidana crash the Lil Bro. Oh yeah, you gotta make that right with Lil Bro. I get that, but we wanted to see you with Maidana, or not Maidana, but Amir Khan. And because of that, shit, y'all the reason Amir Khan's career turned out to be the way it is, man. Just, I can't get Floyd, I can't get Manny, so fuck it. I'll just let me go up and fight Canelo. And that one knockout took, I don't know how many fucking fights off of Amir Khan's career. I didn't expect Terrence to beat him the way that he beat him. I thought it would take, Bud a few rounds to adjust, at least to the 5th or 6th round, to adjust to his speed. And he figured that man out in 1 round, dude, and dropped him. Oh my God, man, just punch resistance just plummeted after that. He was always chinny as is, but that knockout from Canelo was devilish. That was devilish, man. So I don't know, man. Floyd should have gave that man that fight when it, years ago. You should have gave him that fight. He should have. It is what it is. We can't be. He should have gave that nigga that fight years ago instead of fighting Maidana. And then you fought him twice, and then you went on, you fought Manny, and then Berto, and then sailed off into the sunset. with you know, Conor McGregor next, and then the kickboxer. Now you're talking about getting in with the Jake Pauls. You know, and I know it's making people sick. Making people sick that you're doing that. I think it's sickening. And I'm gonna have a matter of fact. Yeah, we gonna touch on that next. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here so we can get on that subject. So like and subscribe. Still Mills Boxing, man. I'm out.